Okay, here is our final video for topic 6 test review to help you out. And we are on the back side of our review sheet. So, number 7, we've got a circle graph. So, the circle graph shows how Lila spent her after school time during the month of October. Okay, so she's in code club, soccer, ballet, and yoga. Ooh, excuse me. So, oh, and you can't see this very well, but this soccer says 23%. Okay, so we're still going to use our helpful hints and as we read part A here. So if Lila spent a total of 92 hours on these activities in the month of October, estimate the amount of time she spent at yoga. Okay, so we've got 92 hours and this word total, okay? So that's going to be a hint for us. So we're going to start our proportion again, our percent proportion. The number that must go in there is 100. That's right. Okay, do we have a percent sign in this problem? So if you look here, you're like, oh, no, I don't. But yoga, right, is what we're talking about. And 28% of time was spent on yoga. So that's our percent. That goes above the 100. And then the other piece of information is she spent a total of 92 hours. So is a total a part of her time or the whole time she's got? Total means whole, right? That's one of those key words. So that's got to go at the bottom. 92 goes here, which means our empty space is what we're trying to figure out. That's our X. So what can we cross multiply here? We start with, X in 100. Can't type that in a calculator, but it's 100X, right, on this side. And that is equal to 92 times 28. That part you definitely can do in a calculator. And you should get 2,576. Okay, so we multiplied those two, and this is the odd one out, is the 100. So that's the one that's going to get divided at the end. We divide it out. All right, so 2,576 divided by 100. And it says, okay, so what your answer is, you should get X equals 25.76. That is not the final answer, though. The reason is because it says to the nearest hour. Okay, so if it's 25.76 to the nearest whole hour, we're going to say about 26 hours. You're rounding it. Okay, now let's do the next part. Part B says, estimate the amount of time she spent at ballet to the nearest hour. All right, so let's go back up here and look at ballet. Ballet is 14%. Again, we're going to set up the percent proportion. We're going to put our 100 in. This time our percentage is 14. That's going to go above the 100. And then over here, right, what number do I need to put in? Well, we're still working with 92 hours. That did not change. So we know that goes on the bottom. And we're trying to figure out this value at the top, okay? And so, again, which two numbers do you end up multiplying in your calculator? If you look going across, these are the two numbers that get multiplied, which means that 100 is going to be the one that ends up being divided by after. So 92 times 14, if you do that in a calculator or you do it out the long way, doesn't matter, you should get 100x equals 1,288. Okay, and so then we're going to divide out that 100 and we get x equals 12.88. But again, it says to round it to the nearest hour. So if I round 12.88, I round that up to 13. So that's about 13 hours she spends on ballet. Okay, good. Okay, we're going to just keep on rolling so we can get done with this. And we're on number 8. Here we go. Ooh, I probably better move that up. All right, of 200 Boston residents surveyed, all but 18 were born in Massachusetts. What percent of the residents surveyed were not born in Massachusetts? Okay, so here we go. This time, it's a little bit harder to determine that it is a percent proportion, but it's asking you the question, what percent? So even though you don't see the percent symbol, it's asking you about a percent. So we're going to set up the percent proportion again. We're going to put the 100 in there. Okay. The difference is when I look here, there is no percent sign. There is not, they don't give us the percent. So in this case, that is where our X is going to go. That's our unknown because it's asking us to find the percent. It says what percent? Okay, so now I've got 200 and I've got 18. So looking at this, right, I can't use is over of because we have a story problem. It's not a new and an original, so I got to do part and whole. So if I look at these numbers, of 200 Boston residents surveyed, all but 18 were born in Massachusetts. Which is this? Which of those is the part and which one is the whole amount? So there were 200 total surveyed, right? So that is going to be our whole. And our 18 is going to be our part. And once you get it set up, look, everything we've done is solved the same way. What is the next step? Okay, we got to figure out what we multiply, right? So we're going to, 200 is going to go with the X. So you write it like this because technically you're multiplying it, but what you're going to multiply that you can multiply out either in your head or in your calculator is the 18 times 100, and that's going to give you 1,800. Well, that 200 is the odd guy out, and the reason is we're going to divide that out here. So it cancels and we divide it over here and get an answer. 1,800 divided by 200 is going to give us how much? If you do this correctly, you should get X equal 9. But in this case, it's asking you what percent. So it would be 9%. It's saying you 9% of the residents were not born in Massachusetts. Okay. Good. 2 more to go. All right, number 9. Number 9 is different. So you see a percentage here and a percentage here, but it's a little bit different. It's not like the ones we've been doing. It says for each fraction, decimal, or percent, write the equivalent number from the list below. So we've got this list and we got to match up what goes with what. So here is what I would say, and I try to teach my students, is the quickest and probably what I would think is the easiest method. If we can get them all in the same format, get them all decimals or all percents or all fractions, it's easier. In my opinion and in my experience, getting every one of them into a decimal helps students, okay? So this one is a decimal, 0.52. This one is not. 38 over 50, let's make that a decimal. And if you don't know, the way you make a fraction, maybe we ought to write this, into a decimal, I'm just going to use F and D here, you divide that numerator by the denominator. You would do top number or numerator divided by, bottom number or the denominator, and it will give you the decimal, okay? So if I do that, 38 divided by 50, this one is 0.76. And it's kind of small, but I'm going to write it in here. So same thing. This is a fraction. To get it to be a decimal, I do the top number, 41, divided by 50. Oh, I get 0.82. Okay, now I have a decimal there. This one's already a decimal, right? Okay, how do I change the percentage into a decimal? 40% is what decimal? And some of you know how to do this in your head and have a trick. But the actual math, right, to do a percent and get it into a decimal, you divide that percent by 100. Okay? The reason you do that is 100% is our whole, right? So if I do 40 divided by 100, I get 0.4 for this one. Okay, So that's all everything's in a decimal here, right? Let's get everything in a decimal in here. So 2/5 is a fraction. Let's change it to a decimal. So 2 divided by 5. I'm going to do this in a different color. Is 0.4 is what this one is. Okay, let's see if we have a match. Oh, 40% was 0.4. So is this one. So you want to put 40% is the answer here. And then you cross it off because that one's gone. All right. This one's already a decimal. So, let's see if we match. 41 over 50 was 0.82. So that's what the answer is for this one. Cross that one off. So you know you've already used it. Oh, that one's not a decimal. That one's a fraction. Let's make it a decimal. Fraction to decimal, top divided by bottom, or numerator divided by denominator. Okay, this one is 0.52. All right, here we go. Oh, there's a match right there. Boom. 0.52 is our match. That one's done. So I only have 2 left. So 76%, right? Let's look at our decimal. Do you think that matches with 0.76 or 0.35? Yes, you could change that to a decimal, but doesn't that seem pretty obvious, right? If not, you could change it by dividing by 100, but this one matches with the 38 over 50 fraction, which means that our 7 over 20 should be 0.35. You should probably check it though. 7 numerator divided by 20, the denominator. Oh, yes, it is. It's 0.35. But it always is good to check. Okay. Woo. Number 9, done. Number 10, we are to the last one, but there's 2 parts. Okay. A tablet and a digital camcorder are both on sale for 30% off. The regular price of the tablet is $185. The regular price of the camcorder is $140. Okay, this one we are going to use our helpful hints, but there is a tricky part on the ones that are like this, okay? So we're trying to find a sale price, okay? So I just want you to realize, and maybe we even star this one and this one, because we're going to find a sale price here too. Here's the tricky part. We are going to start, because we got a percentage, right? With our percentage proportion, we are still going to put 100 in there. And then we're going to look. We see 30%, but it is 30% off. Okay, so 30% off. There are multiple ways you can do this, but I'm teaching you the one with the least steps. Okay, 30% off means that like the regular price of the tablet is $185. We're going to pay less than that, all right? So what we have to do with our percentage, if we're trying to find a sale price, we're not going to pay 30%. We're going to actually pay 70%, right? Because if it's 30% off, then that means that what we're really paying is only 70%. So that's the percentage that we're going to use in our percent proportion, okay? That's why we're putting a star by this. Okay, so now we're looking for the tablet. The tablet is $185, okay? So remember, now we got to look at this. Is that the new price or is that the original price? The regular price, regular and original, right? So that one's got to go at the bottom. 185, which means our X goes at the top here. And we're going to solve this like we know how to do, like we've done a lot of times on this review. All right, we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to multiply the 185 and the 70, right? And this one, putting together, it's really 100x. Okay, if you do 70 times 185, and again, you can do that in your head. You can do it in a calculator. Oops. You can do it out, do it out by hand. But you should get 12,950. Okay, so that's this. This times this is 12,950. And then this was our odd one out, the 100. So we're going to divide by 100. When I put a slash like that, that means divide. Okay, and we will find out that our x value we're trying to figure out is going to be 129.50. I know if you do it on a calculator, just say 0.5, but remember, this is money. So the sale price is going to be $129.50. Now, does that make sense? If it was $185 and now it's on sale for $129.50, yes, that makes sense. Okay. All right, let's do it again. This one says, what is the sale price again of the camcorder? Okay, so camcorder was 140 bucks, but it was still on sale for 30% off, which means we're going to use our 70% here because that's what we're really paying, okay? So, boop, boop, put your 100 in. What is our percent then? Because we're using sale price, it is 70. Let's put that in. Okay, camcorder is regularly 140. Regularly, is that the new or the original price? It's the original again. So 140 goes at the bottom, X goes at the top. Boop, what are we multiplying? All right, this one, you can't really type in a calculator, but we're going to put it down as 100X. 140 times 70. Again, it depends on your teacher's rules here. If you have a calculator, you can type it in. Otherwise, you got to do it by hand. All right, that should give you 9,800. And the last step, remember, we don't just leave it like that. We got to divide by that last one. We're going to divide by 100. 99,800 divided by 100. Our sale price for the camcorder is going to be $98 even. Boom. Okay. Woo! That was a lot. Hopefully this helps you out and hopefully you can rock this next test. If you have any questions, please email myself, Mrs. Richards, at hrichards@klps.org or your teacher. Have a great day, everybody.